Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admins, and the message, it reads like this. Good morning, Brother Nashi. How are you? I have learned the hard way, the painful way. Now I am focusing more on my personal growth than Mujolo. I am always telling the young girls and the single mothers out there to work with their hands and not to work with their backs, for nothing tangible ever materialize out of these relationships. Rather, what they'll benefit, it is bitterness, frustration, and when unlucky, they'll only get your STIs. My story is about Mujolo, the pandemic. Why am I saying young girls and single mothers? Because these are the ones usually that are targeted by the fat cats, by the ones that have money, the big-bellied men. Listen up, ladies. There is no love there, but the fat cats, they just prey on your situation, on your vulnerability, on your weaknesses, and they just capitalize on that. Have you ever wondered why they never go for their own class? Out there are some women that have a lot of money, but they never seem to go for those rich women because they are supposed to go after them. But why don't they go? But they always choose you who is struggling to make ends meet. Why? They never go for their class because they know an empowered woman is a dangerous person. Work hard for yourselves, baby girls, and never let anyone treat you than a doormat. Have some pride in you. That is all that I can say. This is my story that I am going to share with you, and let those who have ears hear. Here I was working for my kids to have bread on their table when I caught the attention of a local businessman. I had been single for a very long time. In fact, when my husband and I decided to call it quits, I had vowed to myself that I will always be celibate for a very long time, and had passed 3 years without being intimate with anyone. Why 3 years? To some, it might sound like fiction, but indeed it is true. The reason as to why I had chosen not to be with another man for that long was because I wanted to find myself again. I wanted to work on my self-esteem that had been destroyed by my mother-in-law, who had called me a disgrace and a useless woman. I also wanted to heal so that I do not bleed on those who had not taken a part in hurting me. I knew that I was capable of loving again, but I wanted to love the right person and to be loved right in return. So when this guy that I am going to call Mr. M, when Mr. M began showing interest in me, I became excited. In fact, our conversations were very interesting, and he was intellectually gifted. He knew what to say and when to say it. He activated my organs that I thought that had died with the divorce. Mr. M had done his research prior to approaching me. He knew that I was a divorcee, had 3 kids, and currently living at my parents' house in a bed to try and to make ends meet. Mr. M was my prayer answered. He would sometimes sing for me. Oh, how wonderful that felt. I still remember that there was this other day that he took me on a dinner date. Then he started to sing for me whilst the band was silent. Yes, he had hired this other local band at that time. Then he went on the stage. Then he started to sing for me. He was putting effort into coming and seeing me. We lived in different parts of the city. He was staying in the burbs whilst I was from the ghetto. But to him, that did not seem to matter at all. First days, he would love bomb me with gifts and even money, and even went far and beyond to make sure that I had everything that I ever wanted. To have a kind and a generous man intertwined in one was indeed a blessing come true. My tears were finally drying up. He even asked how my kids were doing, and in my mind, he was the perfect man, and we would have the perfect family. I was given the liberty to call him whenever that I wanted to call him. He'll say, babe, you can call me whatever time that you want, for I am all yours. There were no time restrictions at all. He was so impressed with me, and he started calling me his wife. You can just imagine how good it felt. Mr. M had addressed me as his lady. How good that felt. Little did I know that this man was just as sly as a fox and as cunning as they come. In fact, now that I think of it, he had mastered the game of manipulation to get whatever that he wanted whenever he wanted it from me. I had given him the cookie. He could not stop raving about how good I was. Little did I know that besides me, he had 5 other women that he was sleeping with. He was an intersection switch that he controlled whenever he wanted. It seemed he had a day for one of us, and whoever was the favorite will get the extra day Sunday as well. How good life was for him. So when he dropped the bombshell that he was married, at first I had been mad at him for being cunning with me, but he assured me that he loved me and he intended to make me his official wife. I was naive. My naiveness brought me, and I was so naive. Naive me bought the tale, but it had been a crafted lie. He even lied for the fun of it. I asked why. When I called, I had not even suspected that he had a wife back home, and he told me that she had been holidaying in America with their daughters. That is why I assumed that this man was just a single guy. As I said, I was in too deep, and there was no turning back now, but I wish that I had turned back that day, as I was later given a parting present that would trouble me for many months to come. Well, there were many other things that used to happen, like the day that he brought me these other flowers. To my surprise, after he had given me these flowers, when I was on my way returning back home, then he called me and he asked me where I was, and I told him that I was in a taxi. He chased that taxi and he stopped the taxi and he told me to get off from that taxi. This was like really weird. When I got into his car, that was when I found out that this guy, he had another bunch of flowers that he wanted to give to me. But later on, I found out that the flowers that he had even given to me in the first place, these were not like your natural flowers. These flowers, they were the flowers that he was using also to make money. So I think that he had made a mistake and he had given me the flowers that were meant for his rituals, and he then came and he forced me to get out of that taxi. And even though I had seen some of these red flags, like sometimes when we were about to make love, this man all of a sudden, he will tell you that he feels the urge to go and to urinate. He would lock himself up in the bathroom. You know, like as a lady, when you are being touched by a man, there is that point whereby when the man gets off from top of you, you just feel like you do not want to do it anymore. This used to happen whenever I was with Mr. M. Each and every time when we will be enjoying ourselves, before he would have penetrated me, then the guy will always find an excuse and he will tell you that I want to go to the bathroom. And when he would have gone to the bathroom, he would spend at least about 5 to 10 minutes not knowing what he'll be doing there. I still remember that there was this other time when we were at this other hotel. When we were at that hotel, that was when this guy did the same things that he used to do. And I said, tonight I want to follow him. And I thought that maybe he had a secret phone that he would take to the bathroom. So feeling very jealous, I followed him to the bathroom. Brother Nashi, I heard him speaking and talking to someone that I did not even see. Thinking that maybe he was on the call with someone else, I banged on the door. As I opened it up, to my surprise, he was looking at himself in the mirror and he was talking to himself. He looked at me and he shouted at me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was forwarded to me by one of our admins. Dear sister, please come back with the rest of the story. When he looked at you in the mirror, when he was looking at himself in the mirror, and when he looked at you, what exactly did he say? Strange things do happen in this world.